In this video, we are gonna talk about why networking is so important in cybersecurity. You know, for the longest time I actually avoided networking because it seemed boring. You know, I mean, who wants to learn about routers and switches, right? In fact, I did a video where I laid out 27 different cybersecurity career paths. But whether you want to become a penetration tester, a red team operator, a blue team operator, you know, working in SOC analysis or incident response or digital forensics, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a good understanding of networking, you're going to be severely limited in your career. But then I took a class on it, and once I started learning about it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. For example, think about someone trying to steal data from your company. Maybe they infiltrate your system and get access to your database server. With Metasploit, you can launch network attacks. Firewalls control traffic based on the network protocols. When you subnet a network, you create smaller networks that can be used by different departments within an organization. For example, if you have a large company with multiple departments, you might create a subnet for each department. I responded to a lot of incidents that involved compromised servers, and I had to analyze the network traffic to figure out what happened. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section below. And if you want to continue to learn about cybersecurity, please check out the courses on our website. We have courses on everything from networking to penetration testing to digital forensics to incident response. And you can earn industry-recognized certifications by taking our courses. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And when I was doing incident response, I was looking for malicious activity on the network. And again, without a good understanding of networking, I wouldn't have been able to do my job. That way their traffic stays separate from the other departments. But in order to do that, you need to understand networking. They look at the source IP and the destination IP and the source port and the destination port and the protocol. Back when I worked as a penetration tester, I had to test the wireless network of a major university. I flew out to the campus and I found their wireless SSID. I was able to crack the password and I infiltrated their wireless network. Then I started driving around campus looking for buildings with cameras connected to the wireless network. I found a building, I walked in, I found the camera, and I started messing with the camera. Long story short, I was able to get complete control of the camera. I was able to upload my own firmware to the camera, which allowed me to upload a backdoor to the camera. Then I called up the university and I told them, hey, I infiltrated your wireless network and I was able to get complete control of one of your cameras. So they paid me a lot of money and they were very happy. But what would have happened if I didn't understand networking? I would have been able to subvert their wireless network, and I would have been able to find the camera and control the camera. So networking is extremely important not only for penetration testers, but also for people who do network security and for people who do SOC analysis and incident response. And then based on the rules that are configured on the firewall, they allow or deny traffic. So you need to understand networking in order to configure a firewall properly. VPNs, virtual private networks, also control traffic. They encapsulate the traffic in a secure tunnel. And again, you need to understand networking to know how VPNs work and how to configure them. Even proxies are another technology that controls network traffic, and you need to understand networking to know how proxies work. You can do things like DNS spoofing. You can do ARP spoofing. You can do all these other things. But you need to understand the underlying networking concepts to know how those attacks work. Think about Burp Suite. There are network components to Burp Suite. You can do things like intercept network traffic. You can modify network traffic, but again, you need to have a good understanding of how the web works and how the underlying network protocols work in order to be successful with tools like Burp Suite. And what about Wireshark? Wireshark is a network protocol analyzer. It's great for analyzing network traffic, but if you don't understand networking, you'll never be able to decipher what's going on in the packet captures you're re-looking at. What are they gonna do? They read the data off the disk, and then they transmit that data most likely over the network. It's just too big for them to sit there and read the entire thing and then walk out the door with it. They probably put it on a USB and then take it away, or they transmit it directly over the network. Or maybe you have an employee that wants to leave your company and take all your trade secrets with him. What's he gonna do? He can grab the files off the local server and then send them over the network to his home computer or to a cloud storage location like Dropbox or Google Drive. All of that is done over the network. You also have things like insiders that might have access to the network and just start dumping data into the cloud. It's called data leakage, and it's happening all the time. And of course, you have people who just hack into your network directly and steal data from your databases. But regardless of how they get in, they are going to move laterally across your network to find valuable data, and then they are going to exfiltrate that data off the network. All of these things are happening over the network. So that's reason number 3. And I realize that networking is at the heart of everything that we do in cybersecurity. It's because a lot of cybersecurity tools rely on networking. In fact, the tools that we use in penetration testing and ethical hacking rely heavily on the network. Here's the truth. No matter how skilled you are with tools like Metasploit, Burp Suite, or Wireshark, if your networking concepts are weak, you'll always be limited. For example, someone could send you a malicious email. That's an attack that happened over the network. Now, sure, you might open up the attachment on your computer, but without the network, that file never would have made it to your computer in the first place. Or maybe you click on a malicious link in a phishing attack. Well, again, you would have been able to click on that link if you did have a network connection. Of course, you might see SQL attacks or cross-site scripting attacks or all these other attacks that happen over the web, but without the underlying network infrastructure, none of those attacks would be possible. And that's reason number 1. Attacks happen over the network. Now, there are many different career paths you can take in cybersecurity. So let's say someone infects a computer with malware, and that malware has a command and control server. The attacker can use that command and control server to communicate with the infected computer. And the way they communicate with it is over the network. Without the network, the malware is useless. Now, sure, you might download the malware onto your computer, but once it starts communicating back to the attacker, that's happening over the network. Also, there's all kinds of malware out there that spreads across the network. Think about something like the WannaCry ransomware. It basically spread across the network by exploiting a vulnerability in older Microsoft systems. It would infect one computer, then it would spread across the network to infect other computers. So malware relies heavily on the network. And that's reason number 2. So let's talk about why networking is so important. Now, there's really 3 reasons here. Number 1, attacks happen over the network. Number 2, malware spreads over the network. And number 3, data leaks happen over the network. Now, let's start with the first one, attacks happen over the network. Let's take a look at some examples. Reason number 2, malware spreads over the network. And now for reason number 3, data leaks happen over the network. Now, I just gave you 3 reasons why networking is important. But there's another reason why you should learn networking. Think about Metasploit. Think about firewalls. Think about IP subnetting. Let me tell you a story. When I was doing SOC analysis, I hope you learned something in this video.